Padres all this season. A lot of controversy surrounding him really during a lot of his career.
And Greg Jeffries will lead it off. Jeffries right now batting .303, 13 home runs and 60 RBIs. We're set to go. Here's the first pitch of the ball game. It's a heater up high, ball one. Talking to some of the Padres before this ball game about Calvin Schiraldi. They feel he'll be a better starter. He's been pitching a lot in relief, but really struggling. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Outside, 2-0. 16 base runners. All 16 when Calvin Schiraldi came into the ballgame, all 16 scored.
There's no doubt that he has struggled. He's been with a few different ball clubs. They've all tried him in the bullpen. They've all tried him as a starter. When he left the Mets, he was a highly touted young man and had a fine arm, a good fastball. But his fastball is straight, and that's one of the problems. A lot of walks, a lot of pitching behind the count to the hitters.
3-1 now on Jeffries. As you said, behind on the count. He's behind on the count right now to Greg Jeffries. Popped up. Playable. Roberts under it, makes the grab. So Roberts, who ordinarily plays left field, playing short today. Joe Carter in left field. Joe's usually the center fielder, and Sean Abner's in center field.
Big decision by Buddy Harrelson in switching the lineup around a little bit, putting Jeffries back in the leadoff spot. Jeffries had handled that number 3 slot in the order fairly well. He's been a little bit exasperated. He has not driven in some runs he's felt he should. But an unusual move here.
As you look at Dave Magadan, there's a shot to right field. Gwynn going back and makes the grab. So Tony Gwynn, nice play, taking an extra base hit away from Dave Magadan. 2 down.
Tony Gwynn can pick it out in right field. Really an all-around ball player. But as we were talking about before, it's the second night in a row, Fran, that Buddy made that decision with Jeffries. He's trying to shake up his lineup, but I'm a little surprised that he took Jeffries out of that 3 spot.
You think it hurts the ball club?
Well, I think Jeffries is their 3-hole hitter.
Okay.
And will be for a long time.
And has done a pretty good job and likes the 3rd hole. But here's the man batting 3rd today, Kevin McReynolds. Fastball misses down and away, ball 1. McReynolds batting .255, 16 home runs and 61 RBIs. There's a fastball for a strike. 1-1. 2 men down, first inning.
McReynolds 6 for 18 lifetime against Schiraldi. He does have a home run, so he feels very comfortable against Calvin.
Breaking ball misses outside. 2-1. Sun-drenched crowd here at Jack Murphy Stadium. Swung on and missed. 2-2. Good rip. Still looks like Kevin pulling a little bit off the ball. See a lot of hitters dive into the ball. Kevin doesn't dive into the ball.
He wants it down and away.
And he gets it, but too far down. 3-2.
Good job by Jerry Davis behind the plate. Santiago had actually moved off the plate. That ball almost exactly in his target. So a good call by Davis.
Benito Santiago catching for the Padres. How about that breaking ball, line drive. Gerald Clark making the play. Good pitch from Schiraldi. He has 29 stolen bases, so you have to keep him off the bases. He'll be followed by Roberto Alomar. And he takes a strike from Frank Viola. Joe Carter talking about his 96 RBIs, which leads the National League. He said if he was hitting the way he ordinarily hits, he'd have 400 RBIs because of the first 3 hitters. Magadan scored 5-3, 1 down.
Viola, quite an impressive season. 3rd in the league in earned run average. Tied for 2nd in wins with Ramon Martinez. Mets will see Ramon Martinez over the weekend. 4-game series in Dodger Stadium. What a big series that's going to be.
How about the Dodgers last night against the Phillies? I wonder what type of a effect that'll have in the ball club.
9 runs in the top of the 9th inning.
And Roberto Alomar takes inside, ball 1. Alomar batting .299, 4 home runs, 50 RBIs. When Jack McKeon went upstairs as general manager, left the managerial reins, Alomar takes the ball inside. Rob Piccolo came up as one of the coaches for Greg Reddick. They tell me he's helped Roberto Alomar tremendously as a second baseman. Hard to believe, especially since his father was such a good second baseman. 2-1 on Alomar, although there are some times it's delicate when it's a father-son relationship.
Always delicate.
Oh yeah, you have to be careful. Alomar pops the ball back here out of play, so it's 2-2. There's Rob Piccolo. And over at third base is Roberto's father, Sandy Alomar. About 17-year major league veteran. 2-2 on Roberto. Good breaking ball right there. Unusual for Viola. He doesn't throw that many breaking balls, but it counted right there. 2 down.
Frank Viola has to do some things different against this ball club. As we said, he has yet to beat him in 3 tries. Big swooping curveball right across the plate. The Padres have set up against him and really hit the ball the other way. Back through the middle to right field for the right-handed hitters, to left field for the left-handed hitters, and have had success against Viola.
Tony Gwynn, the batter, just took a strike. 0-1. What a major league hitter. Takes that breaking ball off the plate. 1-1. Tony Gwynn right now batting .316, 4 home runs, 58 RBIs. From what I understand, he made a statement that in September, the first part of September, if he's 20 points behind the league leader, he'll catch him. It's a lot of points in 1 month.
I hear you.
1-1 pitch. Well, line drive, and it's not a base hit. Nice play, Howard Johnson. How valuable has he been since Kevin Elston went down? Straw betting .282, 28 home runs, 79 RBIs. Facing Calvin Schiraldi. Top of the 2nd inning here at Jack Murphy Stadium, and there's a ball. Down low, ball 2.
This is the pattern for Schiraldi. We spoke about it in the 1st inning. It's very difficult to come back and get the really good hitters when you have a dart type fastball and you fall behind in the count.
3-0. Major league hitters, when they get up on a count, they'll beat you. .3-0 pitch. Straw takes a strike. 3-1. Taking all the way. I'm surprised.
Leading off the inning, I don't think Straw likes to hit 3-0.
They want the ball away. Here's a 3-1 pitch. It's way away. Ball 4.
Shows a lot of respect for Strawberry. But again, Schiraldi, who was always fighting his control, that's one of the problems. He's always trying to throw to perfect locations and he falls behind.
I think one of the problems pitchers have, all pitchers, is they want to be too perfect. They're giving too much credit to the hitter. The hitter now is Howard Johnson.
Howard talking about the 2nd injection in his shoulder. He feels a little better with it.
Take strike 1. Johnson batting .251, 19 home runs and 71 RBIs.
He's still diving in the bases. Oh, I know that, Fran. He's diving all the time. Can't give your shoulder much of a rest.
Strawberry leading off first base. Nobody out here in the 2nd inning. Hojo takes way inside. 1-1. One ball and 1 strike. Mets coming into today's action 3 games behind the Pirates. What is Santiago possibly looking at? Maybe they called the pitch outs from the dugout. They check the runner. Sometimes the catcher gives a sign to check the runner also. Santiago looking in the dugout. Again, talking to some of the Padres before the ball game, they felt that Sandy Alomar Jr. might end up being a better all-around catcher than Santiago. Fouled back, 1-2. In fact, they said they would have hated to be in the seat that had to make that decision who to trade last winter.
Well, that decision's been made, obviously. Sandy Alomar Jr. having a fine season with Cleveland. All-star catcher.
They say he's a brighter catcher than Santiago.
There's always been a question about Santiago's determination and his ability to adapt.
Fouled off.
And what I mean by that is that if he's struggling in a way, he's very hard-headed. People try to go in and talk to him. He doesn't want to have anything to do with it. He had a tremendous rookie season, rookie of the year, then struggled in the second year. He's come around, and he's a fine catcher, one of the best catchers in baseball.
When you get labeled,
you're not going to get rid of it easy.
When I'm paraphrasing here. When you get labeled as a rockhead, it usually starts with the pitchers. They will start all those rumors. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Popped up and out of play. Some pitcher might go out and have a bad game, blame it on Santiago, explain to his fellow pitchers how he called a bad pitch in a certain situation. Then they focus on it.
More pitchers have used the catchers as an excuse, especially a young catcher. Got a few guys that have not been loved in this ballpark as far as starters are concerned. We talked about Eric Shaw in the early part. He is always in controversy.
It's 1-2 on Howard Johnson. Fouls the ball out of play again. Rusty mentioned that shoulder. This year we have not seen Howard Johnson really jump on top of that fastball and pull it a whole lot, probably because of the bad shoulder.
It's affected him a lot more from the right side than the left side. He's been really moving his body forward, his head forward, pulling off the ball, trying to get that bat around from the right-handed side. But left-handed, he's done a fine job for the most part. Howard's going to strike out. There's no way he's going to avoid that. He's just a free swinger.
One and two on Howard Johnson. They check Strawberry.
Darrell with 14 steals and 21 tries has not really been aggressive on the bases in a while. Very conservative lead at first too. Very.
He's 6'5". I mean, he dives back. He's going to grab a hold of Mike Cubbich's legs.
Just has never really learned how to take a good lead. There he goes.
Pitch out. Throw to second. Safe. If Santiago comes out of the chute, he's not accurate when he's throwing. When he throws from his knees, he's accurate.
See Strawberry taking off. He sees it's a pitch out. Santiago up the line and high. You think the shortstop Bip Roberts got there soon enough, Fran, on the pitch out?
What the catcher's job is to do is throw right to the base. Throw right to the base, not worry about the infielder.
I understand that.
And you're right, Bip Roberts getting there slowly, but able to go on the other side of the base, make the catch. But it's amazing. Santiago is known as a great throwing catcher, but he's not when he comes out of the chute. Only when he throws from his knees is he accurate. There's a lot of trouble when he has to come up. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Good pitch right there. One down.
First strikeout for Giraldi. Second good changeup he's thrown in this inning. See that ball just bottom falling out of it.
He throws a fastball, a slider, and a changeup. Kelvin Torvey, the batter. Kelvin, the same type of player as Dave Magadan, did not get a shot in the big leagues. He played a position that demanded power, never hit with power. Down and in, 1-0. Dave Magadan almost did not get an opportunity. Davey Johnson did not want him in the lineup. Buddy Harrelson did not want him in the lineup. He's third leading hitter in the National League right now. Talking about Magadan. And the 1-0 pitch. There's a strike. 1-1.
Dave got a chance to play with Mike Marshall in Chicago. He had taken a couple of third strikes in the ball game. Talked to the manager, Buddy Harrelson, and said he really wasn't feeling good. He took himself out of the game. That gave Magadan an opportunity to play. Boy, did he take advantage of it.
Foul out of play, 1-2. Speaking of Mike Marshall, he had a home run in yesterday's ball game for the Red Sox. His first.
I'm sure he'll like that green monster. A short porch in left field in Fenway Park.
So Marshall playing with the Red Sox. Torvey right now playing first base for the Mets. He has a 1-2 count, one man down. Strawberry leading off second base. Up high, 2-2.
This is his fourth straight start, as we told you in the opening. He's lost 2 of 3.
He's working on his last chance in the major leagues here in San Diego. Way inside, throw to second base, up high, almost into center field. See, it's exciting and colorful when you see a catcher throw a lot. But boy, you got to be accurate when you throw.
And look where he threw from. That pitch way down and in. He was off balance.
Most exciting part of that play was Bip Roberts jumping that high.
Padres swept the Mets last August. They're trying to do it again.
There's Bip.
They are 7-2 against the Mets this year.
Full count. Fly ball foul down the left field line. So we'll do it again. Torvey. And here's a look at the crowd here at Jack Murphy Stadium on a laid-back, hazy afternoon. Ralph Kiner, of course, our colleague, one time said that Major League Baseball will never catch on in San Diego. Foul tipped into Santiago's glove. Torvey goes down.
Mike Winters at third base made that call, said he caught the foul tip before it hit the ground.
Oh, it hit the ground, I'm telling you. Darryl Boston, the batter, he takes a strike. Boston batting .295, 8 home runs, 31 RBIs. Darryl Strawberry leading off second base. Down low. 1-1. See where that ball hits the ground?
Where?
Are you watching the monitor or are you doing radio? Jesus. 1-1 pitch. Up high. 2-1. Two balls, one strike, and Darryl Boston. Hard hit ball, base hit in the right center field. Strawberry scores easily, so Darryl Boston picking up a 2-out single and driving in Darryl Strawberry. It's 1-0 Mets.
Roberto Alomar likes to take the right side of the infield away from all of the left-handed hitters. That one went up the middle. He could not get to it. Good try. Those 2-out RBIs, those are the big ones.
Oh boy. And the batter with Darryl Boston on first base will be Mackey Sasser. Fouls the ball back. Sasser batting .326 home runs, 36 RBIs. I'll tell you how tough it is to shake a tag. You mentioned it before, Rusty. I walked in the ballpark with Dave Garcia. Used to manage here in San Diego, also in Cleveland. Has been a long-time coach, now a scout. He's talking to me about Mackey Sasser. He said he can't throw runners out. I said he's been doing it lately, but Dave Garcia has it on his mind now that he can't throw runners out. It's tough to shake a tag. Fouled out of play. 0-2. Mackey really struggling with that ankle still. Remember May 3rd, Mackey Sasser was batting .45. Now batting .320. Off the plate. 1-2. You can see Santiago going way off the plate with his body.
That's the tailing fastball that Schiraldi is trying to develop to help him against the left-handed hitters. That's not his good fastball, and it's not his changeup.
And the 1-2 pitch. Pulled to the right side, base hit. Boston will go to third base, and the Mets have runners on first and third. So Mackey Sasser continues to hit.
Sasser pulling that ball right in the hole. Boston on the move. Sasser hits it behind him. Saw the great jump he had trying to steal that base. And he just coasted into third base. Frank Viola will have a chance to drive in a run here.
So runners on the corners. Boston on third, Sasser on first, 2 mid down. The batter Frank Viola. Look at that for a stroke. Score that one 6-4, and that'll do it for the Mets. Manager for the AAA San Diego team. Popped out of play off the bat of Joe Carter. Carter, kind of a confusing season. He's batting only .231. He does have 20 home runs. He's got 96 RBIs. He is not happy with his year.
He's left a lot of people on the bases is why. He's had different patches of outstanding hitting and then some terrible slumps.
Inside, 1-1. Of course, after this weekend in LA, the Mets will return to New York and take on the Padres Tuesday night. Ball's hit off the end of the bat, way up in the air. Darryl Strawberry calling for it. Fighting that sun, and he wins, but just barely. 1 down.
Had it all the way.
Jeez. So Carter's out. The batter now will be the catcher, Benito Santiago. Santiago batting .309, 9 home runs, 40 RBIs. He was off to a pretty good season when he was injured.
He was.
And when the Padres lost him, they kind of fell out of the race. Curveball down low, ball 1. Frank Viola usually features the fastball and the straight changeup, not many curveballs. We've seen quite a few so far here.
Got to do something different, especially against a team that has handled him as well as the Padres.
Foul ball. 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. 1 man down the second inning.
I think everyone felt that the San Diego Ball Club, one of their strengths, like the Mets, was their starting rotation. This year, their starters, 39 wins and 47 losses. That's a tremendous disappointment to Jack McKeon and now Greg Riddick.
Fly ball, shallow right field. Jeffries going back and making the grab. Nobody was around him. He went a long way out.
Kind of a lazy afternoon here. You can't let that affect your mind. Everybody's got to move to try to support each other.
Luckily for the Mets, Jeffries was able to catch that ball. And with 2 men down, the batter will be Gerald Clark. Clark, recently recalled from the minor leagues, takes inside ball one. He's batting .269, 1 home run, 2 RBIs. Batted .300 wherever he played in the minor leagues, but can't find a position for him to play. Played the outfield in the minor leagues, not a good outfielder. 1-1.
Good off-speed pitch by Frank Viola that time.
I'd have to try it again. It's now 1-2. Clark last year batted .313 in Vegas. Had 22 home runs, 83 RBIs. And he did try it again. They got Clark. Maybe next time they'll throw it again. But anyways, the Padres go down meekly here in the second inning. 3 up, 3 down. At the end of 3:03. Fouls the ball out of play.
Jeffries 2 for 8 in this 3-game set. Last 2 games leading off.
And the 0-1 pitch. There's a strike. 0-2. When you say that, I can read the tone of your voice. You don't like that leadoff slot for Mr. Jeffries.
No, I don't. I think he should be in the 3 slot. I know there's different things you want to do to mix your lineup up and shake it up. Get some production out of it.
But he's trying to get things rocking by moving some hitters around. And the 1-2 pitch. Pulled down the right field line. Fair ball. Cut off by Gwynn. Jeffries will go for 2. The throw. Safe.
And boy, was it close.
Good hitting, good base running, and good throwing. And Jeffries won.
See Gwynn going down the line. Cuts it off. Stops. Gets on top. Makes a good throw. 1 hop there, but Jeffries just beating the tag by Bip Roberts. Remember, Bip Roberts not used to being a shortstop right now. He's mostly a left fielder. If he has a real quick tag here, he may get Jeffries. But he catches it, and then he turns to tag. Jeffries beat it. Fine job by Paul Runge. Right on top of that play.
So Jeffries on second base. Magadan pops up in foul territory. Pag's fighting the sun and makes the grab. 1 down. The Mets are leading right now, 1-0.
That's just a real wasted at bat for Magadan. He knows that man's on second with nobody out. He wants to try to be aggressive and pull the ball. Hit a little pop up to the left side on an 0-0 count. That should not happen.
Well, he's in the dugout. The batter now, Kevin McReynolds, who's paid to drive in runs. There's a runner on second base. 1 out. Breaking ball misses down low. 1-0. Last season, Kevin had 20 or more home runs for the 4th straight year. He had 22 last year. Outside. 2-0. Kevin, of course, played here in San Diego. I understand Dick Williams, former manager of the Padres, has a book coming out where he gets on Kevin. But Kevin shouldn't worry about it because Dick Williams got on just about everybody at the book. 2-0 pitch. Down low, 3-0. In fact, yesterday I had the opportunity to interview Duke Snider out here in San Diego for a couple hours for our show Halls of Fame. And Duke mentioned that he got ripped in the book. Here's the 3-0 pitch. Here's a long drive, but foul. The ball was smoked.
Sure, you like those long fouls. I mean, you get a thrill out of that.
Yeah, that ball was tattooed.
Good swing by McReynolds. Just got a little bit out front. He stays back on that one, really crushes it. But it's hook and foul. There's no doubt that it's going to be a foul ball.
And the 3-1 pitch. Fouled out of play, so it's a full count.
Again, Schiraldi behind in the count. McReynolds trying to get his first hit of this series. Hit a couple of home runs in that game in San Francisco. But he is 0 for 9 against the Padres.
He was a popular player here in San Diego. 3-2 pitch. Fouled off again. But if he was criticized here, it was because of lack of effort. But it's just, I mean, it's his personality. He goes out, he gives it 100%. It's not lack of effort. Some people look like they're not trying.
One of the things that got him in trouble was if he made a mistake and the ball got by him, either it's because of his gait or the fact that he didn't react and looked like he was running hard after the ball. That was one of the things the Padres really didn't like.
Full count. Hopped up. Santiago over by. Nice play. Outstanding play by Santiago. Over by the top of the third. Jeffries on second base. RBI situation for the man who's paid to drive in runs and wants to be paid even more. Outside. 1-0.
Schiraldi really pitched around Strawberry. Even though Strawberry was leading off the inning, it cost him because Darrell scored that first run. You can bet he does not want to come to Strawberry.
1-0 pitch. Pulled down the first baseline foul, so it's 1-1. Would you pitch to him in this situation?
Schiraldi has to. I mean, he's had, with all the things that he does not want to do against Strawberry, he's had tremendous success against him. Strawberry has hit a home run against Schiraldi in his career, but it's the only hit he has in 15 official at-bats. Schiraldi has to go get him.
Pat Dobson, the pitching coach with the Padres.
He's got an open base. He can pitch him as tough as he wants.
1-1 pitch. Outside, 2-1.
And Bird went right in between everybody at home plate. Almost landed on Strawberry.
But I said, Darrell, the way you hit this guy, I don't have to worry about you with that bat. 2-1 pitch is a fly ball left field. Carter on the move, on the move, on the move. Foul ball.
And you want to talk about a dangerous corner in baseball. You saw how Carter moved in. They have the mound there where the pitchers warm up. It's also the edge of the stands. If you trip and go into that, you could kill yourself. They don't have it padded. They don't have anything there to buffer the outfielder. And believe me, if you're the left fielder or the right fielder, you see him looking, he knows he's by that mound. He says, I'm getting out of here. You trip on those babies, spend a lot of time in the hospital.
So it's now 2 balls and 2 strikes and Darryl Strawberry. There's the corner. And Greg Jeffries leading off second base. 2 outs. Fouled up. Pretty good pitch.
Yep. You'd think after all these years they would have figured out something to do out there. Those seats move for football.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. This is outside. If you were Darryl Strawberry, would you choke up in the bat and spread out with 2 strikes?
Here's a look at that pitch. Tailing fastball. Awfully close. You see the semi-pull job by Benito Santiago, but he did not get the call. If I was Darryl Strawberry, I wouldn't change. I don't see him changing how he holds the bat, Fran, but I would think a little bit more about with 2 strikes going back through the middle.
They're going inside, full count. And there's a line drive in the gap, left center field. Jeffries will score. Strawberry will go to at least second base with a stand-up double. 2-0 New York. Good inning by Darryl Strawberry.
And he did go back through the middle that time. Gives you a chance to cover the entire plate. If the pitcher is jamming you, you have a much better chance than if you're hitting the ball off the end of the bat. Just a good at bat. You see that tailing fastball out over the plate. Doesn't try to do too much with it. Strokes that double. Big RBI. He's now scored a run and driven in a run.
So Darryl Strawberry on second base with 2 men out. 4 hits in this game for the Mets. And here's Hojo. Takes a curveball for a strike. Now, Hojo has seen a few curveballs already from Schiraldi. And he leads him off with that slow curve.
Again, when you face a guy that's going to do that to you a lot, if you look for it early in the game and you hurt him on it, you get a hit, hit the ball well, you might get the fastballs you really want to hit.
Outside, 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike, 2 men down. Strawberry leading off second base. The heater, and it's a good pitch. Good pitcher's pitch right there.
Talking with Howard Johnson in the pregame show on whether or not there's too much of a vacation type attitude on these trips out to the West Coast.
I heard that. That's an interesting question. You don't like that attitude.
No, I don't.
Up high.
They asked for help and Mike Winter said no swing.
So now 2-2.
I think there's just a little bit of that happens to a lot of clubs coming out to the West Coast. You're not out here to have fun and games. You're out here to play baseball. I'm not against families.
I hope not.
But I'm for baseball.
Outside.
You can't lose perspective as to what your purpose is to come out here on a trip.
So if you were to manage, you might be a disciplinarian.
I think I would want everybody to have a good time, Fran, but I would definitely be firm in some areas of attitude and focus on what's the important thing you're doing. You're out here to play baseball and to win baseball games for your organization.
Hojo loops it into left field. Carter coming in, and he'll be able to make the grab, and he does. That'll do it for the Mets
in this series. But he is 0 for 5.
They're concerned about Pags here in San Diego.
He has struck out 3 times, and that is the problem. Just does not make enough contact.
They're optimistic as far as his career was concerned. They felt that he could resurrect his career after being brought over here from the Yankees, but they're not so sure now. They're losing confidence in him. 1-1 pitch. Down low. 2-1. He's been a mystery. He had some fine years offensively with the Yankees.
Shows you what a great ballpark Yankee Stadium is for a left-handed hitter. Pagliarello hitting a ton of home runs as a Yankee. You get out of that ballpark, the ball really rushes through the infield at Yankee Stadium. And between home plate and deep right center, the ball just jumps out of the ballpark. Best hitting ballpark for a left-handed pull hitter in baseball.
Yankee Stadium.
You got it.
So the Yankees put Gene Michael in charge. Outside, Pags walks, so the Padres have a runner. First runner of the game for San Diego.
That's not what he's looking to do. Again, almost pitched him too tough, like he didn't want to challenge him leading off an inning.
And Pags, as I mentioned, has struggled. 255, 3 home runs, 28 RBIs. As you look at Sean Abner, batting 269, 1 home run and 12 RBIs. Abner takes inside. Ball 1.
Sean Abner, one of the #1 draft choices of the New York Mets in that trade. They get McReynolds to New York. He has just not lived up to the future everybody felt he had.
No, not at all. Not even close. Here's the breaking ball. Pulls his head. 1-1. Abner last year in Las Vegas batted .259 with only 8 home runs and 31 RBIs in 56 games. He was part of that Kevin McReynolds trade. Pags leading off first base. Once again pulling his head. 1-2.
Let's take a look at this swing. Watch his head. Watch his head. His head is all the way off the ball. It's not down looking at the ball. Coming off it.
1-2. Good pitch. It's 2-2. Fastball inside. You go back outside with that changeup again.
Might as well. He's been pulling his head off all those pitches.
From Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, Sean Abner. Here's the fastball. So Abner goes down. 1 out.
Third strikeout for Viola. And with Calvin Schiraldi coming up, it's a bunting situation. Magadan coming in at third base. Kelvin Torvey has to be alert. Schiraldi not a lot of at-bats because most of this year he's been in the bullpen. 3 hits in 15 tries. He has hit a home run. He's got a little pop, but he's never been a very good hitter.
I agree. He squares the bunt. He bunts and foul.
And with those mechanics on that turnaround for the bunt, he's not much of a bunter either.
It's really amazing, as much as pitchers practice that in a game, you kind of get uptight as the ball's heading towards the plate. Fouled off again. 0-2.
Magadan really charging in at third, which is the right way to go. Torvey getting a decent jump at first. We'll see if Riddick wants Schiraldi to bunt with 2 strikes.
Attended the University of Texas. Had some pretty good pitchers there. One of them, Roger Clemens. 0-2 pitch. Well, I'll tell you, that's some bad mechanics in bunting that ball. Fans here in San Diego are not happy. Neither is Schiraldi.
This is way out of the strike zone. You see him shortening up. He's got the bat, reaches out, no control over his body. Ball was not a strike.
So 2 men down. Hag still on first base, and the batter will be Bip Roberts, who grounded to third his first time up. Roberts takes up high, ball 1. Last night, Roberts was 3 for 4, 3 singles. Loops the ball into center field, and the Padres have their first hit of the game. Runners now on first and second.
And Roberto Alomar coming to the plate. He has had good success against Viola. Viola struck him out the first time up on a good curveball. Alomar took it.
He loops the ball into right field. Here's a base hit. Hag scores. Throw to third. Not in time. Alomar out at second base. A break for the Mets. Bad base running by Roberto Alomar after driving in a run. So that'll do it for the Padres. They pick up a run, and bad base running runs them out of the inning. But we played 3 here in San Diego, and it's ball out of play. Strike 1. It's 0-1. We're in the top of the 4th inning. It's 2-1. Mets on top of the Padres. And now with the play-by-play, Mr. Staub.
Thanks, Fran. Kelvin Torvey went down on strikes his first time up. No balls in the strike from Kelvin Schiraldi. Just outside, 1-1.
You know, we talked about head discipline as far as the hitter is concerned. A lot of times we talk about pulling off the ball, but if that head is going down, it's almost impossible to pull off the ball if your head stays on the ball.
Fouled straight back for strike 2. 1-2 to Torvey.
We haven't.
I hate to say it, but I agree. Off speed pitch, pop up, shallow left field. Biff Roberts shading for the sun. He didn't put the glasses down though. He just shaded with the glove.
Bluebird day.
Darrell Boston at the plate. Takes ball 1. Darrell drove in the first run. He drove in Strawberry, who had walked. Leadoff walks have led the runs against both teams. Tries to dump that third baseline with a bunt. Goes foul. In that last inning, Pagliarulo walked to lead off the inning. Viola came back and struck out Abner and Schiraldi. Biff Roberts singled. Then Roberto Alomar threw a little looper in the right field in front of Strawberry. Fly ball center field. Sean Abner there. 2 down. It's another one of those situations, Fran, when that run scored where Roberto Alomar, with not a lot of pop.
Catcher, Maggie Sasser.
And a guy like Roberto Alomar who has 4 home runs.
And he hasn't hit any of them to the opposite field. I can guarantee you that.
How many guys can hit the ball the other way and hit it over the fence?
My point.
I like it.
Mets have to try to win this ball game. I mean, that's an obvious statement, but they really need to get a victory in this ballpark. They have a tough 4-game series against the Dodgers Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We'll bring that first game to you right here on Sports Channel on Thursday night. Line drive through the hole. Even with Alomar playing over toward the hole, Sasser still found it. Second hit of the night, or the afternoon anyway, for Mackey Sasser.
Tough to defend against a guy like Mackey Sasser because he can flare you down the left field line. He can hit you hard up the middle, and he can do this right here. Let's take a look and see if Mackey's head's right on that ball. Boom. It's got to be when you pick up a base hit. You can't hit the ball if your head's not watching, if your eyes aren't watching the ball.
Frank Viola takes strike 1.
If you see a hitter, good hitter, hit a ball, his head's going down. It's been proven time and again.
Way outside this time. Schiraldi says, I want a new baseball. I guess between the first and the second pitch, that ball must have puffed up. Frankie V waiting on it. Ground ball, base hit just by the third baseman Pagliarulo. Sasser goes to second. Viola to first.
Number 9, second baseman Greg Jeffries.
Now, here's Frank Viola. Everything was off the ball, and he picked up a base hit.
He really did keep his head in a little bit. He's just trying to slap the ball and make some contact to try to help himself, and he did.
He has an interesting swing.
It stinks, but it works sometimes. Now, if you're trying hard, you don't have to look good all the time. Jeffries at the plate takes a ball. Really Viola practice in his career. There's a strike. 1-1.
Probably learned that swing at St. John's University playing for Joe Russo.
Well, he does have 8 hits.
In fact, I saw Joe play when he was in college and had the same type of swing.
No, don't say that. I know Joe Russo swung better than that. Fouled straight back by Jeffrey used to have. You're looking at Derek Lilliquist warming. Lilliquist over from Atlanta. 1-2 with 2 out to Jeffries. 2 on. Fouled it off. Stays alive. Need to get it going. Hard ground ball, but foul. That bat, he's going to be a good one.
He already is.
Off speed pitch. Giraldi trying to get that changeup to be chased.
There's nothing in this sport that you can do and do well when you play with tight.
Get mad at everything that's happening. Try to make yourself stay in against certain guys that really give you trouble. Because I had a success rate a little better. Line drive center field. Adler going back. He's got a beat on it. We'll finish that thought in the next inning. Tony Gwynn at the plate takes strike one. How did you get that in here?
Well, I saw, I noticed the beach type atmosphere.
1-1 to Tony Gwynn.
It's amazing how many players like clean.
It's a tremendous place to play. The weather's fine. It's not too hot. I mean, here you're on a day game in August, and it's a nice day.
Very nice day.
Swing and a miss by Tony Gwynn. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Nobody out.
You know what, though?
I'm afraid to say what.
New York's better. Play ball.
Gwynn takes ball 2, evens the count.
This is too laid back out.
It's been one of the thoughts. Padres have not been in postseason play very often. Swing and a miss. A rare strikeout for Tony Gwynn.
Tony was 1 for 3 last night.
Back and forth from the outfield to the infield, especially on your arm. High fly ball, deep left field. Shading with the sun. He snags it. It's an unusual grab for Kevin McReynolds. He doesn't snap at it like that very often.
How about McReynolds?
Ball 1. Gerald Clark in the on deck circle. Not many clouds.
Don't say it.
I'd have to start bring you down on a trip at least once a year, get you down in the South so you can understand how to speak English.
I might go down to Mardi Gras.
That'd be good.
Learn those terms.
I could lose you in the crowd there very easily. There's a strike. 2 balls, 1 strike with 2 down to Benito. That's ahead 2-1. Make it 3-1. It was a leadoff walk to Mike Pagliarulo that got Viola in trouble the first time. Swing and a miss. Boy, he really fooled Santiago on that pitch. Full count.
I mentioned earlier, Viola really doesn't feature the curveball that often. He's throwing many more today. Santiago with that big rip, but out in front.
He was looking long ball and pulled off that ball. Really got it started early. Full count. Line shot, base hit to left field. A little bit. And ball 1 to Gerald Clark.
If a guy like Santiago goes into a slump, they will talk about the loop in his swing, the way he wraps the bat around his head.
Strike 1, 1-1. Viola got Clark on some off-speed pitches last time up. He swung feebly 3 times.
Santiago, by the way, stole 21 bases back in '87. Stole 11 last year.
Pitch out of the zone, 2 balls, 1 strike. Only 3 stolen bases this year. He's been thrown out 3 times, so he has not been attempting. Now, he did miss some time because of the injury. The injury didn't affect his legs, though.
Just his arm.
There he goes. Take Sasser to throw. Down. Out. Good quick release by Mackey Sasser. Gets Santiago. What's happened?
They've had their problems throughout the course of the year. They've been very inconsistent. They've had players that really haven't come through. They lost Clark for a little while, and I think that hurt them. But I think mostly, more than anything else, they've had a real inconsistent pitching staff. Bruce Hurst hasn't had the type of year that he should have had, and people expected him to have. They expected Eric Shaw to come back, and he didn't.
Magadan takes a strike, 1-1.
And this guy pitching right here, Calvin Schiraldi, is a guy that was disappointing out of the bullpen. He really didn't have his head there. He wanted to be a starter. Now they're giving him that opportunity, and he's really not doing the type of job that they expected him to do.
It's just hard to believe that the Padres have struggled as much as they have. I don't think anybody expected Cincinnati to get out of the breach like they did this year, though.
Well, they started out real well, and I think that put a lot of pressure on the other three clubs, which is San Francisco, Los Angeles, and San Diego.
Ground ball to first. Gerald Clark tosses to Schiraldi, 1 down.
How about Carter?
I think Joe Carter's just starting to come around. I think he's just starting to learn the league. Of course, he's got a lot of RBIs, along with the 20 home runs that he's hit so far. I think he's surprised a lot of people, including myself, with his defensive ability. I didn't think he was that good of a defensive outfielder, but he can hold his own out there.
I heard they're not happy with him in center field. They want to move him to left field.
I really don't think center field is his position.
Evidently, they've moved him to left. They've been giving Sean Abner a chance in center. It's a 1-strike count to McReynolds. Line drive down the right field line. Will it be fair? Just foul. Tony Gwynn giving chase, but that ball slapped. But 0 for 10 in this series against the Padres. Takes ball 1, a ball and 2 strikes.
Kurt, you played with Kevin McReynolds. Were you surprised when he was traded away from San Diego?
I think it surprised a few people. I think everybody's tradable, especially when you got a guy like Jack McKeon making deals. Jack would trade his mother if the right deal came along. And that's just the type of general manager he is. If he thinks he can better the ball club, he's going to do it. And we spoke about Sean Abner, who's in center field. And he's the type of player that the Mets thought was going to be a good player, and I'm sure San Diego did also, because they wanted him in that deal.
Catches the outside corner, strike 3.
He was really never given the opportunity, I don't think, the type of opportunity that you need to have as a major league player. You know, Fran and Rusty alike, that you need to get a couple of hundred at bats to really be given some kind of an opportunity, and Sean just wasn't afforded that type of opportunity. And I think that's the reason that he hasn't come around as quickly as a lot of people thought, and I'm sure he feels that he's the type of player that everybody thought he was.
Strawberry takes a ball, count 1-1. How about Jack McKeon stepping out? Was that a surprise in San Diego?
Well, I think it was expected at the time that it happened, because there had been a lot of talk and a lot of controversy about it. Jack handling both jobs, and I think it is a tough job. The ball club just wasn't playing up to his expectations, and Jack decided to come back to the front office, and he had been weaning Riddock along, and I think Riddock's going to be a good manager in the major leagues. I really do. But no, I don't think it was that big of a surprise when it happened. It was kind of expected.
Fouled straight back, to count 2-2.
Has new ownership changed the atmosphere in San Diego? One time, Joan Kroc was the owner, and from what I understand, the organization had a lot of money to give out to players. Now, that might change?
I don't think it's going to change. I think the new owners are willing to give the money out. I don't know if they're willing to give out the type of money that a lot of owners aren't willing to give out now, with the $3 and $4 million a year that are being demanded by players. But the fact of the matter remains is that the new owners have money. I mean, they're not people that are penny pinchers. And if they think they can improve a ball club by going out and getting a free agent, I'm sure they're going to do it.
Swing and a miss, strike 3.
Exciting for me, all 15 of them.
Was that the biggest hit of your career?
I think the first one was, because if I hadn't gotten that one, I probably wouldn't have gotten the opportunity to have the one in the World Series.
True.
But it was a big one. It really was. It was the highlight of my career. I really had a good time for those 6 or 7 days that we played in the World Series. It seemed to go by so quickly. You look back on it, and thank goodness for videotaping.
A ball and a strike to Gerald Clark. Bottom of the 5th, Mets ahead 2-1. That 2 balls and a strike. And fans, New York Met baseball is being brought to you by Manufacturers Hanover, where your money has power. 3-1 to Clark. Gerald Clark, not Jack. Jack Clark out a game. Has a little trouble with his hamstring. Jammed a little soft liner to Howard Johnson. 1 down.
Are the fans disappointed here in San
Number
Diego?
13, third baseman.
Oh, absolutely they are. They had expected the ball club to do basically just what everybody nationally thought they were going to do, and they just haven't done it. And I don't know if the pressure was part of it. I just think this ball club didn't play well. Bruce Hurst hasn't pitched well, like I said. Eric Shaw didn't come back.
Ground ball up the middle. Jeffrey's backhand. Long throw. Just gets Pagliarillo. 2 down. Nice play.
Such as the San Diego Padres do, and Ed Whitson. Even though Whitson hasn't put the victory numbers up that Viola has, you know, Whit's leading the league in earned run average right now, which says something.
Certainly does. A ball and no strikes to Sean Abner. Hard ground ball to short. Howard Johnson to Torvey. 3 up, 3 down in the bottom of the 5th inning. So the lead off for the Buddy Harrelson New York Mets. Calvin Schiraldi pitching a pretty good ball game. Been a lot of comments about him through the years. A lot of people, they really feel he can't pitch with a lead. Pitches very well when his team's behind. That's one of the comments that's come down the pike.
Well, Rusty, the thing that I've noticed with him since he's been here in a Padre uniform is he just can't seem to get the big out. A perfect explanation of that was the other night against the Phillies. There was a man on third with 1 out, and I thought for sure that they'd walk Dykstra to try to set up a double play situation with Dalton. It was later in the game, and they pitched to Dykstra, and at the time I said, boy, this is a mistake. And Dykstra hit a ball hard right back at Schiraldi, and he did get him out and left a man on third, which made 2 outs and a man on third. And then he just lollygagged. It seemed like he lollygagged instead of really going after Dalton. He gave him an off-speed ball out across the plate, and Dalton hit it in the right field for a base hit. He just can't seem to get that big out that he needs to get.
No balls and 2 strikes to Howard Johnson. Off-speed pitch. Howard gets a little piece of it. Schiraldi has been throwing a lot of off-speed pitches to Howard. That is normal fare.
Well, that's something that he hasn't been able to get across the plate in quite a few of his starts in his relief appearances, and the hitters have been sitting on that fastball, which are just not going to be able to throw it by consistently, big league hitters.
Way outside that time. The things that we were talking about earlier in the game, Kurt, was that he seems to pitch behind in the count too often.
Well, he gets behind hitters. He tries to nibble a little bit too much, and he's just not that type of pitcher. He needs to be out on the mound more often to become that type of pitcher.
Off-speed pitch. A little shoo-shoo to the left-hand side in foul territory.
You're
What's
such
a shoo-shoo?
I'll tell you. You can't be listening to this guy. Shoo-shoo.
You got to bring up a little bit of that Louisiana terminology from time to time just to keep Francis Xavier Healy on his toes. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Howard Johnson.
I have to remember that.
Don't.
Shoo-shoo. I'm going to use that on my show. Is that all right, Rusty?
You got it.
Can I quote you?
You can quote me. He wants it down and away. He gets it right on the corner. Howard Johnson is struck out for the first out of the inning. Strikeout number 5 for Calvin Schiraldi.
He's up in the count and takes a shot at that outside corner right there. Schiraldi gets it. It's a good pitch. He runs that ball away from Howard Johnson. If it got the corner, it hit the front of the plate and ran off the plate.
Kelvin Torvey at the dish now. He has struck out and he has popped up to the shortstop. Ground ball foul. It's been kind of a lazy afternoon. It's about the way this game has been played. Not much action. 2 runs on 6 hits for the Mets. 1 run on 3 hits for the Padres. We're in the top of the 6th.
There's quite a few Met fans in Southern California, Rusty, Fran, and a lot of people have called my show and said, what happened to Mackey Sasser? He's just become such a good catcher, a good-looking hitter, and everything. I mean, he was struggling at the beginning of the year, and he just developed. He seemed to have blossomed all of a sudden into a good major league player.
He resurrected his career. I mean, Doc Edwards had a lot to do with it, but Mackey Sasser did it. But Doc's worked with him quite a bit as a catcher.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Torvey. I agree with that. A lot of credit on the extra work done with Doc Edwards for Mackey on his throwing, particularly. But hitting-wise, Mackey has said he really always had confidence in himself. He just never got the opportunity to get a lot of at-bats and to be in a regular position for a period of time. That's what he feels has been the biggest plus for him. Slapped down a left field line, but foul.
There's Doc Edwards right there. Doc's worked hard with Mackey Sasser, but it's up to Mackey. Mackey has to do it. Mackey has some good talent. He's been throwing a lot better, and boy, did he fight back offensively. We mentioned his average. He was hitting below 100 in May. He's over 300.
He's done well. He's done a good job. I know what it's like to hit under 100. It's hard to get back up there.
Called strike 3. Home plate umpire Jerry Davis says he went around, so 4 strikeouts in a row for Calvin Schiraldi.
Good pitch from Schiraldi. Watch Santiago make this play. Gets out there, quick hands, takes it right out of the dirt.
You know what that was like, didn't you, Frank?
This kid moves so quickly behind the plate.
He's really a lot of fun to watch day in and day out.
Who was a better player? Well, you didn't see Alan Mark.
Yes, I did.
Was he as good or better than Santiago?
I don't know if you can say better, but he sure is a good-looking young player. When it comes to velocity on their throws, they're pretty close to being the same. Of course, Benito's a little flashier than Sandy was, or Sandy is, and he just doesn't do the things that Benito does, like throw from his knees, although he does throw the ball down to second base from his knees. Sometimes Benito does it much more often, and trying to pick runners off the bases at first and third. You never know what to expect with him, and at any given time, he can show you the strongest arm that you've ever seen. And I put him right up there with Bench. I mean, Bench is probably the best catcher that I've ever seen, and Benito's real close.
Santiago coming out of the chute struggles. If he throws from his knees, he's accurate. When he comes out of the chute, he has to come off his knees and throw. He doesn't have the accuracy.
It's strange the way that, really the way it is, and you're exactly right, Fran. He's the type of catcher. I think he's been so used to throwing from his knees and really hot dogging type situation down in the Latin country in Puerto Rico where he's from, that he's become so used to it, he does it better that way.
How important do you think the earring is?
I think that's very important in his game. I really do. I mean, if he didn't have that, he probably wouldn't be worth a darn.
Ball 4 to Darrell Boston. It's a free pass down to first base. Second walk of the game for Schiraldi. That's good for him because
there it is. There's the earring.
Can't
and
check
each
that
contract
earring
he gets, I'm sure the diamond will become bigger. If I was making that much money, I'd have them in my nose and everywhere.
I haven't been very big on earrings in my day.
Well, I saw you with a nice one on the other night, Rusty.
I can't answer that.
With the loop.
Big loop. Yeah.
It was a gift from Fran. Sasser at the plate with 2 down and Boston at first. A little soft fly ball. Alomar moving back, calling it, and has it for the 3rd out. The Mets will strand 1 on the top of the 6th. They still lead 2-1. We'll be back. Darren Jackson pinch hitting for Schiraldi. Jackson hitting .220 on the season, 1 home run, 5 RBIs, 4 hits and 15 at bats as a pinch hitter. He takes strike 2. Mets scored 1 in the 2nd, 1 in the 3rd. Padres 1 in the bottom of the 3rd. That's been it so far. Strike 3, catching the inside corner. Aaron Jackson not liking the call, but a fine pitch by Frank Viola. Strikeout number 6 for Frankie.
It was a nasty fastball from Viola. right on the black. You just hope the umpire misses it, but he didn't. This is what happens too. That's a good pitch.
Yeah, it was a good pitch. It even surprised me. From up here, it looked like the ball was in. But watching it on the replay, you can see that he did make a good call.
Greg Riddick, the manager, out talking to home plate umpire Jerry Davis. I don't know whether something might have happened as Jackson went back to the dugout. There might have been an exchange. Riddick coming out and talking to the home plate umpire. I guess it's all settled. Jerry Davis.
Umpires seem to have short fuses these days, don't they? Oh, you can't say anything about them?
More so.
I can.
More so than ever before.
I would think that the one thing that is a negative about the umpires is that they actually bait some of the players and some of the managers. That's something that used to not take place very often when I first got into baseball. I think the power of the umpiring association that represents them. Now another altercation.
Yeah, between Frank Viola and Jerry Davis, home plate umpire. Now, maybe Frank Viola wanted that pitch and felt that Riddick talked Davis out of it by going out and arguing with him.
I think you're exactly right.
Ball inside. 2 balls, no strikes to Biff Roberts.
It's unusual for a pitcher to get into it with an umpire, though.
Not very smart either. Ball down, 3-0.
I think what players should keep in mind is the fact that just because umpires bait you, that doesn't mean that you have to be a barracuda with your mouth open and take it.
There's a strike. 3-1. That pitch you saw was the pitch in question that Frank Viola thought was a strike. Ground ball foul. It'll bring it to a full count for Bipp. Bipp has grounded out to third and singled to center.
Now, Kurt, you and I both played for Jack McKee, and this is the type of guy that he likes in his ball club. A Bipp Roberts
Absolutely.
who can move around, steal some bases.
Versatile guy that comes off the bench. He's not as scared to swing the bat and can move around and play some different positions. You're exactly right.
Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Viola gets him. Second strike on the road for Frank. Number 7.
Frank talking to Mackey Sass. It's a good idea for Mackey to go out and just to calm Frank Viola down a little bit, get him off the home plate umpire. If somebody says something to the home plate umpire, he can take it from the catcher because the catcher won't turn around. But he doesn't want the pitcher showing him up on the mound.
Viola started this game number 7 in the National League in strikeouts with 127. He has 7 now, brings him to 134. That'll time with John Schmaltz from Atlanta. That's for the number 6 slot. Ball inside.
I think all pitchers and hitters alike, all they ask for from the umpires is consistency. If you're going to call a strike, call it like that all the time.
Long fly ball, but foul. 1-1.
I would say the umpires are under the microscope more so today than ever before because of the television camera.
The instant replay, it's a tough move. Some of those bang bang plays, they don't have the ability to check it slow motion. Some tough calls. They have a tough job swinging a foul ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
When the throw beats a runner now, he's not automatically out. You got to apply the tag. If you miss the tag, the camera is going to pick up that play. The umpire's got to be right on top of it.
Whereas it used to be automatic. You're exactly right.
Fly ball to left. With the glasses down comes McReynolds. Stops right by that mound. He's played that field before. Easy inning for Viola. After 6 full, it's still the Mets 2 and the Padres 1. Kenny Reagan's wife
And
Kevin Meininger's wife. That's our director and producer.
They're romantics. They bring their wife out on a trip, enjoy Southern California, Northern California. Nothing like romance, huh, Kurt?
Nothing in the world.
You've been involved in romance in your life.
Let's talk about the game, Frank.
Speaking of the game, Derek Lilliquist on the mound. Derek with a 3-8 record, 5.68 earned run average. Ground ball back through the middle. Second hit of the game for Frank Viola. And off a left-handed pitcher.
Here's where the follow-through hurts a pitcher like Lilliquist. He's just not set and ready to field the ball when it comes back through the mound.
How about that swing of Frankie V?
Pretty. Looked a little like mine. He doesn't strike out that often, though. What does he have?
15 strikeouts and 63 at bats.
That's not bad. That's not bad at all.
Especially with that stroke he's got. Greg Jeffries.
Hurst is the worst.
Popped up. Looks like it's out of play. Will it come back? No, it won't. It's in the seats.
Kurt, you don't see Jeffries very often, but he can hit.
He impresses me at the plate. He really does. I think he's got to work. It looks to me like he's got to work a little bit defensively, especially turning the double play at second base. But I think he's come around as far as an offensive player, and he should be an exciting player for a long time for the Mets.
Defensively, he will struggle a little bit at second base, but he has improved over last season. He works out 6 hours a day during the off season.
6 hours a day?
6 hours.
Just like you and I used to do.
No balls in the strike to Jeffries. We're in the top of the 7th. Breaking ball tries to go back door, but it's outside. 1-1.
I used to prepare for 6 hours to work out for 15 minutes.
Frankie V at first with a very conservative lead. I'm surprised they're holding him on. Outside and down. 2 balls and a strike. Why would you hold Frank Viola on at first base?
Evidently they're afraid of his wheels.
Somebody's going to have to talk to Clark because he didn't play much first base in the minor leagues.
Popped up out of play. 2-2. They got a lot of coaches and a manager.
Somebody should be hollering at him right now from the bench.
Absolutely. Even more so now with 2 strikes. You might say that they thought that Jeffries could be bunting with nobody out. Not that he was gonna. You're not gonna bunt Viola over.
No way.
Again, he's holding him on. Breaking ball deep to left field. Back is Carter. Jumps up against the fence and makes the play. Jeffries thought he got it. Viola returns to first. And Jeffries a long trot to the dugout. Magadan shortens up to bunt.
It's the first time you've ever agreed with me.
That's all right. I only do that about once or twice a year with Fran anyway. We're on every day.
See how he said it in such an official manner too.
If you've noticed, Clark's behind the runner now with Magadan to pull hitter up there.
Yeah. Well, you're real even with the bag at third now with Magadan shortening up the bunt that last time. He takes a ball for a 1-1 count.
Pat Dobson's very high on this left-hander. Lilliquist.
He pitched an outstanding game his last time out as a starter with an 10-0 victory, and this is his first appearance since then. And I think they're looking for good things from him. As a matter of fact, I think he's going to become one of the starters next year by the time it's all over with. Because I think this ball club's going to make some changes over the winter and even maybe even before the year's over with Shao and the guy like Rasmussen and possibly Schiraldi.
Well, they've been shopping Schiraldi around most of this year.
Scoreboard says 3-0. And it's right. Ball 4. I'm a little surprised they didn't call a strike on that first attempt. And on first and second, 1 out. Kevin McReynolds at the plate. Ball 1.
Plus, the way the mindset is today, a pitcher cannot be effective pitching out of the bullpen and also as a starting pitcher. They move Schiraldi back and forth. They're going to have to make a home for him either in the bullpen or as a starting pitcher or, like you said, someplace else.
I think they're making their final decision on him right now. If he doesn't come through as a starter, I think he's going to be gone.
Hard shot down the left field line. Foul.
Plus, I think an indicator
of San Francisco a week or so ago.
That ball just catching the outside corner, so says Jerry Davis. 1 ball, 2 strikes. McReynolds not happy with the call.
Well, let's see. You be the umpire. That's a bad ball right there.
I don't blame him for not being unhappy. Pitchers used to get those pitches all the time when I was hit.
Lilliquist with a 1-2 count. Strike 3 on the outside corner. Kevin McReynolds, unusual for him to say something to an umpire. Jerry Davis has not been really treated differently by both sides. The Mets and the Padres on him pretty hard.
Well, yeah, this is a better pitch than the first one, but this still looks like it's off the plate.
At least a ball or two off the plate. That's not a real good call.
And how many times you see this guy react to anything? He's so quiet and laid back.
Yeah, Mac hasn't changed too much.
That brings up Strawberry. They're 2 down. Viola is at second. Maggott in at first. Remember,
Speed
Viola.
on the bases.
Go ahead.
Speed on the bases.
Viola. It's going to be tough. He's going to have to hit a gapper here. Breaking ball inside by Lilliquist. You might remember Lilliquist for the Padres. Strawberry waiting. Swing and a miss, a big swing. His left hand came in off the bat. Viola's like a cat out there, isn't he? Swing and a miss on a curveball. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Take a look at Frank leading off second base.
He's ready.
Whoa.
Don't pull a hammer.
Boy, I can't make fun of anybody. Neither can you guys.
Strike 3 call. Lilliquist gets McReynolds and Strawberry back to back. The Mets will strand 2 in the top of the
1 here in favor of the Mets.
Tony Gwynn leading off. Ground ball to short. Howard Johnson has it over to Torvey. 1 down. Like to thank Kurt Bavacqua for being with us for that 1 in the 4th. Popped up out of play. Strike 1. In the league in RBIs, feels like he's having a poor season.
But that's good.
You got to like it.
Yeah, he's honest about it. He feels if he was swinging the bat the way he can swing the bat, he'd have 400 RBIs right now.
I don't know about 400, but he might have about 130. Ground ball, called a foul ball. That was close. Might have broke his bat on that. We'll check it out. Yep. They're tossing it back in.
Carter has to know Frank Viola because he faced him in the American League.
Carter coming into this game 17 for 48 in his career against Viola. That's good. He has hit 5 home runs against Frank. We told you the Padres have made a move. I guess it's not active yet, but they have signed Atlee Hammaker. He is to join this ball club on Friday in Montreal. The Padres go on the road.
And the Mets have been talking to teams, not about anybody in particular, but talking to Joe McElvain before the ball game. They're always talking to teams every day.
Ground ball is short. Howard Johnson again over to Torvey. 2 down.
Well, how valuable has Howard Johnson been? We talked about it. Kevin Elster good.
Real statements about Kevin Elster.
Saw Kevin today. He'd been out jogging. But that arm, boy, you don't want to fool around, especially the shoulder area.
Strike 1 on the outside corner. That has been the one spot where Jerry Davis, at least he's been pretty consistent out there. It's a wide plate. The batters have to swing the bats. You know, you're in the bottom of the 7th inning. You've got to know that in advance. Santiago's behind the plate. You know, how can he complain about a pitch? He knows what the guy's calling. Tries to go backdoor with that breaking ball. It just doesn't get there. 1-1.
That can work the other way also. If you're catching a pitcher and you see the umpire missing balls off the plate, now you're happy he's missing those pitches, and he's calling strikes on pitches that should be balls. When you go to hit, you take a different role.
Line drive in the gap. Strawberry coming in. We'll see if Santiago tries. They laid back. Good throw in by Strawberry. Santiago, a base hit. The Mets kind of circled that ball,
Yeah.
Francis.
Darrell's really going to have to be careful because that's exactly what he did. Look at this. Instead of really charging the ball, he just goes over to cut the ball off and gets the ball back in. I think Santiago was caught by surprise.
Good base runner would have been on second.
Yes.
He is on first with Gerald Clark at the plate and 2 down. Swing and a miss at that off-speed pitch. Viola's been getting him out front on that all day. Frankie V trying to win his first game ever against the Padres. Line drive, base hit to center. Boston has it. Santiago stops at second. So a big 2-out threat with Pagliarillo coming to the plate. In this game have come with 2 outs. Pagliarillo walked and scored. That was in the 3rd inning. And then he grounded out to Jeffries in the 5th. Outfield deep. Fly ball center field. Fairly deep, but Boston has a beat on it. And he's got it for the 3rd out. The Padres will strand 2 after 7 innings. Mets
1 RBIs last year. Got 101 RBIs. First time in his career. He'll face Derek Lilliquist. 2-1. The Mets on top of the Padres here in the 8th. First pitch is a called strike. Breaking ball up high. 1-1. 18,547 fans here today.
seems like more than that. I guess it isn't.
Up high and out of the strike zone. 2-1.
Tim Tuffle is in the on-deck circle. That might be Bavacqua out there underneath that umbrella.
Nothing would surprise me. Kurt will do anything.
As I said, Tuffle will pinch hit for Torvey.
Fly ball center field. Sean Abner is there and makes the grab. 1 down. Pulls the ball foul. So it's 0-1. Tim Tuffle from Santiago flashing signs and the 0-1 pitch. Down and in. 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike count in Tim Tuffle. 1 man out. We're in the top of the 8th inning here at Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego, California, and it's 2-1. Mets on top of the Padres. Down and in again. 2-1. Before signing with the Minnesota Twins, Tim Tuffle, another one of those young players who was drafted by 2 other ball clubs. He was drafted by the Brewers. He was also drafted by the Chicago White Sox. Fouls the ball off. So the count remains 2-1.
Timmy kind of going for the extra base hit there. Really tried to move that ball. He's actually very good at hitting the ball to right center when he sets himself up to do that. At 2-1 count, he's looking fastball and wanted to try to lead the yard. Boy, oh boy, you don't want to take that pitch too much. He's been calling that pitch all day. Tuffle very fortunate there. How many times has that been called a strike today?
So now it's 3-2. There's a long drive deep left field. Carter going back, unable to make the play. Ball off the wall. Tuffle on his way to second base, and he'll hold on there with the double. Carter was not able to get back to the wall in time. So a double by Tim Tuffle.
As the center fielder, you normally don't have to go straight back and worry about a wall very often. Here he's back there. A late lunge would have been a fine play. The most important thing is they get back to the fence and then try to jump straight up in the air. You have great fear when you're jumping out toward the wall. So very tentative on that jump for the baseball. It would have had to be a great play to make that catch now.
Well, a double for Tim Tuff on the batter now will be Darrell Boston. 1 man out. There's a strike. Boston now with an opportunity to show the Mets what he can do against left-handed pitching.
He's had some big hits against left-handers, particularly in that Chicago series. A couple of big RBIs against Paul Assenmacher, who's been particularly tough on left-handed hitters.
And the 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball has popped up. Foul territory. Pags fighting the sun again and makes the grab. Almost dropped that ball. 2 down. There's some respect.
Just going with the odds.
Sure.
Especially with Viola having a couple of hits already today. I guess they feel like with that hack he's been taking, they want to try him instead of Sasser. He's got a couple of hits, though. Don't take it away from him.
You got to be leery of a guy with a bad swing like that who's getting hits. How do you fool him? Intentional walk. I remember one time they were thinking about verbally telling the umpire we will intentionally walk the hitter, and they wouldn't throw the 4 balls, but they shelved that.
Challenging Viola. It's the way it's supposed to be done.
There's that swing.
Yes, we can.
The 0-1 pitch. Outside. 1-1.
It's Viola. Viola went right back through the middle and singled.
Do you want to say it? 1-2. One ball and 2 strikes on Frank Viola. How can we get on a guy who's 2 for 3? That's disrespectful.
Blind squirrel finds an acorn.
Inside. 2-2. Does he have a chance to get a breaking ball now?
He does. He's in trouble.
Santiago's already setting up outside, giving the signs. Viola puts the ball in play to second base. Alomar has trouble with the ball and bounces it. Nice play by Clark. So Frank Viola putting the ball.
Templeton will be the hitter for the pitcher.
Strike 1 to Abner. There's Gary Templeton. Kind of a forgotten man here in San Diego. He's been steady defensively more so than offensively. There's a ball that slips out of Viola's hand.
Speaking of Templeton, it's really kind of unusual for him not to be facing Viola. He is 4 for 7 off him this season.
You don't really buy those stats, do you?
Yes, I do.
Come on.
4 for 7. I got to run him out there, tired or not.
And the 1-1 pitch is down low. 2-1. 2 runs and 8 hits for the Mets, and 1 run on 5 hits for the Padres. It's been a clean, crisp game. Ground ball to Magadan. Over to Tuffle, scored 5-3, 1 down.
Ralph Connor, our colleague, says you can't get tired playing baseball. What do you think of that?
Well, catchers can. I think it's more emotional, psychological rather than physical. You outfielders should never get tired. It's like a day at the beach.
We have to shag down all those mistakes you called.
Gary Templeton, the batter. Batting .244, he takes down and in, ball 1. Templeton coming over to the Padres for Ozzie Smith many years ago. Takes a strike. He probably would still be with the Cardinals if he didn't come up with that infamous
gesture
and saying about, if I ain't starting, I ain't departing, for the All-Star game.
I think the gesture might have.
Yeah, he gave an absolute gesture. Yeah,
might have been more of it than missing it.
And speaking of the All-Star team, there's a guy who was a member of the All-Star team this year, along with Frank Viola. Swung on and missed. 2-2. Yeah, Gary Templeton was walking off the field one day and was being booed by the fans in St. Louis, and he decided to give an obscene gesture to the fans. Woody Herzog made him apologize for it. Shortly thereafter, the trade was made between the Cardinals and the Padres. Frank having trouble right there. Gripping the ball.
Go ahead, Fran.
Slipping out of his hand.
Yeah, it's the second one this inning. He was mad at himself. He's done a fine job in this game. He's thrown a lot of pitches.
Three-two pitch. Templeton helped him out right there. Although the way home plate umpire Jerry Davis is calling the pitches, it might have been called a strike.
Got to protect that plate. Viola coming off a loss in San Francisco, a tough loss, a 3-2 job. He pitched 6 innings in that game.
There's a line drive to right field. Strawberry is right there and makes the grab. 2 down. Ball was hit hard, but right at Strawberry.
The one thing that the Padres had been doing successfully against Viola is that they were really moving the ball in the opposite direction, hitting to the opposite field a lot. That's what Templeton did there, but unfortunately for him, Darryl Strawberry was right there.
Well, the batter now, Bip Roberts. He's 1 for 3. Grounded to third, single to center, and struck out. Takes down and in, ball 1. Mets scored 1 in the top of the second, 1 in the top of the third. Padres scored their run in the bottom of the third. And Roberts takes a strike, 1-1. I'm sure you're wondering about those Pirates from Pittsburgh. They will start at 7:35 Eastern time in Pittsburgh against Houston. Nice play, Magadan to first. Scored 5-3. That'll do it for the Padres here in the bottom of the 8th. 3 up, 3 down at the end of 8. It's 2-1 Mets.
You're looking at Viola. He might be gone from this ball game. Franco warming in the bullpen, but definitely gone from the ball game is Lilliquist. Greg Harris on the mound. That's for the San Diego Padres. A 7-5 record, a 2.34 earned run average. He's been in 57 games, and as we said earlier, he has got one super arm.
He'll face Greg Jeffries, who's 1 for 4. There's that good fastball. Ball just taking off. Ball 1. It'll be Jeffries, Magadan, and McReynolds. If you're looking to the bottom of the 9th inning for the Padres, it'll be Alomar, Gwynn, and Carter. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Up high again, 2-0.
We said it was the 58th appearance now for Greg Harris. He is number 3 in the National League in that category. .2-0 changeup was a strike.
Two balls and 1 strike. Curveball, line drive base hit, a hanging curveball. Now that's a great example of a hanging. Just sat up there like it was on a tee.
Jeffries checks. Got a tad out front. He didn't really hit it right on the screws, but he hit it well enough. And you can make a reaction like that and move good on a ball. Good hitting.
It'll be Dave Magadan now with Jeffries on first base. Nobody out here in the ninth. 2-1 Mets. Magadan takes inside. Ball one. Would you bunt him over? Oh, yeah, I think too long. Forget it.
Did you ask me a question?
Yes.
What do you want to know?
Would you bunt him over?
I would not bunt him over.
So Jeffries with the lead off first.
Jeffries 9 of 11 in stolen base attempts. I might consider using the hit and run. One ball, no strikes isn't a bad time. That's why they're throwing over at Jeffries.
Magadan picks up a base hit in right field, so Jeffries will get down to second. Ball gets by Gwynn. A break for the Mets. Jeffries will score. Magadan will go to third base, and it's 3-1 New York. How many times will you see that happen?
Not very often. Although that is Tony Gwynn's 5th error of the year, you normally see an error on an outfielder on a throw. He just didn't pick that ball up. He must have taken his eye off it a second. Magadan got that fastball. Did the ball very well to right. Just a little undulation, or he didn't pick it up. Jeffries being conservative on the bases that time. But it didn't make much difference because the ball went all the way to the wall. What a big insurance run for the Mets.
And Magadan on third. Pitch inside to McReynolds. Ball one. McReynolds in this ball game is 0 for 4. 3-1 New York. 10 hits in this game for the Mets. 5 for the Padres. Only 1 error. And you just saw it. And a big error it was by Tony Gwynn. Popped up. This baby's playable. Tag's calling for it. And makes the grab. 1 down.
Mets had a stretch where they started doing a much better job getting those runners in with less than 2 outs. But it has been not a good season in the whole in that situation.
Well, Darryl Strawberry will be the batter. He's walked, singled, and struck out twice.
Infield in.
They're going to walk.
They set up the double play.
Fans are booing the Padres here for walking Strawberry.
Second time in this game, Greg Riddick has gone to the intentional walk. They intentionally walked Mackey Sasser in the last inning to get to the pitcher. Roberto Alomar played back on that ball and wound up getting a tough hop. Almost made it. Well, it was a bad throw. He rushed it. Ball was scooped up by Gerald Clark.
Shortstop, Howard Johnson.
Well, Hojo will be the batter. He's K'd twice. Flied to left and flied to center.
Now, Hojo has good speed from the left side of the plate, particularly. The infield is still going to play in. They're not playing for the double play. This is a little unusual.
I agree.
Very unusual.
Fly ball will do the job.
Why did they walk him if they didn't want to try to get a double play?
Rather pitch, I guess, to Howard Johnson.
Evidently.
There's a strike. 0-1 on Hojo. He's batting .248. Hojo with 19 home runs and 71 RBIs. And the 0-1 pitch. Foul out of play. So it's 0-2.
Harris beat Howard Johnson on that pitch. Jammed him. Just kind of fought that off. Now he's in the hole. 0-2.
Rich Rodriguez throwing in the Padre bullpen. 0-2 on Hojo. Got to put the ball in play.
This is when you have to shorten up a little bit on your swing. Make sure you make some contact. Little fake play to third base, looking to see if they could get Strawberry bouncing off. It was really kind of a weak move.
There's Magadan leading off third. You saw Strawberry leading off first. One down. 0-2 on Hojo. Off-speed pitch up high. 1-2.
He really turned that ball over, making sure that Howard Johnson could not reach that 0-2 pitch.
I think it's overrated to waste a 0-2 pitch.
Wasting it that much for sure.
Even wasting it. Old habits die hard. And the 1-2 pitch. Popped up. Foul territory. Pags in pursuit. Out of play. You're talking about that 0-2 pitch. If you have a hitter 0-2, he becomes a completely defensive hitter. If you go 1-2 by wasting the pitch, at least he has a little bit of breathing room. At least it's changing a little bit, because at one time you had to throw the ball 10 feet off the plate to make the manager happy.
There are a lot of managers who don't want you to waste a pitch. We've talked about this before. George Bamberger, big practitioner of that, trying to go right at the hitter. There are a lot of hitters that will chase balls. Those are the ones you really want to make sure that you don't give them a good pitch in that situation.
1-2 pitch. It's in play. A base hit off the bat of Howard Johnson. Magadan scores. It's 4-1. So with 2 strikes, Howard Johnson hangs tough and picks up a base hit and an RBI.
That's a big hit for Howard Johnson. Mets need to win this game big time. That big insurance run. Now to count 0-2. Scuffling. And that was not an overswing. You saw him stay back, reacted to the ball, hit a good line drive. You got to remember those things. I'll tell you, shortening up with 2 strikes, I can't tell you the number of home runs I hit, even long home runs, Fran, because you was just trying to be quick with your hands, which is the key.
Well, Howard Johnson got the job done, and now the batter will be Tim Tuffle. Runners on first and second. It's 4-1 Mets. Top of the 9th inning. The Mets have picked up 2 runs here in the top of the 9th. It was a high fly ball. It'll drift out of play. Oh and 1. Mets trying to avoid a sweep here in San Diego after the game, about an hour after the game. They'll go up to Los Angeles tomorrow night. They'll open up a 4-game series. You can catch all the action tomorrow night right here on Sports Channel. David Cohn against Fernando Valenzuela. The 0-1 pitch. Swung and a missed. 0-2. Friday night it'll be Dwight Gooden against Ramon Martinez. Saturday afternoon it'll be Sid Fernandez against Mike Morgan. And Sunday afternoon it'll be Ronnie Darling against Mike Hartley. After that series, the Mets will fly back to New York, take on the Padres Tuesday night at Shea. Obviously. The 0-2 pitch. Whoa. 1-2.
Pitch. Not a devastating knockdown pitch or anything, but definitely up and over.
See the runners. 1-2 on Tuffle. He wants time. was very methodical. Very slow. And the 1-2 pitch. Good breaking ball. Strike 3. 2 down.
Strikeout number 1 for Greg Harris. It's a fine pitch. That's the pitch that separates him from a lot of people. A good hard curveball.
Craig Riddock going out to the mound.
It's like with Darryl Boston, they're going to make the switch. They're going to bring in Rodriguez. Rich Rodriguez gets the call.
So here in the 9th inning, they go to the bullpen, bring in the southpaw to pitch to Darryl Boston. And while we wait for Mr. Rodriguez to get loose, this call to the bullpen is sponsored by New York Telephone, who reminds you we are all connected.
Jack Murphy Stadium. You're looking at Rich Rodriguez. He's taking his warm-up talk. It's a 1-0 record, 2.84 earned run average. It's his 22nd game. In 25 1/3 innings, he's given up 28 hits. He's walked 10, struck out 16.
He'll face Darryl Boston with 2 men down here in the 9th inning. Boston 1 for 3. Also walked. He takes a strike. I mentioned it before. Darryl Boston has a great opportunity to show Mets management he can handle left-handed pitching. He's going to see some. See the runners on first and second with 2 out. Down low. 1-1.
He is the best center fielder the Mets have. Going to be some circumstances where defensively, him being in the game is a major plus. He's going to have to face those left-handers. This is one of those circumstances.
It's in play to short. Roberts goes to Alomar. That'll do it for the Mets here in the 9th. But they pick up 2 big runs as we go to the bottom of the 9th. It's 4-1 in Joe Carter. By the way, if you tuned in, Mr. Kiner is off today. Palm Springs.
Can we call that an assignment?
Yeah. We'll have to talk to Ralph about that assignment. Outside 1-0.
He's assigned there again tomorrow, right?
Yes, he is. To improve that golf score. And the 1-0 pitch. There's a strike. 1-1. Quiet here at Jack Murphy Stadium.
Especially after the Mets scored those 2 insurance runs.
There's a strike. 1-2. If you didn't know, the stadium was named after our friend Bob Murphy, who's done a brilliant job broadcasting radio for the Mets for many, many years. Outside 2-2.
But it was actually named after his brother.
Yeah, named after his brother, Jack Murphy, who was a columnist out here with one of the local newspapers. 2-2 pitch inside. 3-2. Don't want to lose this guy. Oh boy.
Close pitch. But it's a ball.
Line drive off Franco's glove. Runners will now be at first and second. Tell you what, if he is overweight, it didn't hurt his speed getting down that baseline.
Looked pretty good, Franco.
We'll follow this ball game in its entirety, so stay right with us. So Buddy Harrelson, he's staying with us. Foul off. 1-2. You know, we were talking about Tony Gwynn. 1-2 pitch. Nice block by Mackey Sasso. Looked like the ball hit the front of the plate. Third base, O'Malley makes the play, goes to first, not in time. Good speed, Joe Carter. I thought they'd get a double play on that ball. Fly ball right field, here comes Strawberry. Makes the grab. Gwynn tags up on second base and scurries over to third.
First baseman, Gerald Clark.
Strawberry moving well on this one. Catches it as to watch the mound. The base runner makes a good move by tagging up. Again, the most important person is the hitter because he's the tying run. So on any kind of a base hit here, trying to throw the ball to get the runner going to third or whatever, you don't want to do that. You want to make sure you get that ball to second base.
And the batter now, Gerald Clark. You got to watch this guy. He's 1 for 3. He's been a good minor league hitter. He's in the big leagues because of his bat. Runners on the corners. 4-1 Mets. Clark takes a strike.
Magadan wisely and correctly playing behind the hitter. I mean behind the runner at first.
Down low. 1-1.
Be tough to play behind that hitter, wouldn't it?
Be an interesting alignment. There's Tony Gwynn on third. And Joe Carter over at first base. On ball to third. Scored 5-3, and that'll do it for the Padres here in the bottom of the ninth. They failed to score as John Franco comes in, sets the Padres down. They threatened, but were unable to score off the left-hander. Buddy Harrelson, a happy man. His ball club avoiding a sweep here in San Diego. San Diego Padres playing good baseball, and they played tough baseball again today. But the Mets picked up 2 in the ninth and were able to get those insurance runs, and they went on to win the ball game 4-1. Line score: 4 runs, 11 hits, no errors for the Mets. 1 run, 6 hits, 1 error for the Padres. Rusty and I will be back.